Good morning, everybody, and once again, welcome back to the channel. So, in the first part, I talked about the cross account, how to set up a cross account via lake formation for the Amazon S3 table bucket. It's a fully managed iceberg solution, right? Now, in that particular demo or example, I walked you step by step on how you can use Athena to query that, right? In this particular video, I would also love to show you how to use Spark as an engine, right? So, the pattern that we want to follow, if I can quickly show my screen. Again, before this, if you haven't read or seen my particular blog on the part one, I encourage you to see my first part, read over here, so to have a good context. So this is what we want to do. Okay, so the model that we are doing in data mesh architecture is okay. You have a centralized AWS account where all the iceberg tables are managed iceberg table, S3 tables, right? Now each pod or account or each pod or team will have its own dedicated AWS account. They have their own compute, dedicated compute already. We don't have to worry about that. So how that particular pod or team can access the Amazon S3 managed iceberg table, right? So this video focuses on how they can configure their Spark configuration and how they can access that, right? This video does not cover the lake formation. We have already done that in the part one. So this video only focuses purely on the Spark reader and writer part. Okay. So first, let's take a look at the code base, right? So let me refresh my Jupyter notebook. So right now this is a consumer account. The consumer account is with 4.5. Remember, this is where we have the cross account DB. We have a sample shared table which we shared from the producer account. Of course, I can query this table with Athena. Okay, we know that, right? So now how to use that? How to use Spark to read that particular data, right? So when you're using Spark, of course, provide the packages that you have. And this is the most important part that I think I want to cover over here. So you will configure the Spark catalog for glue, okay, not for the S3 tables, okay, because because since you have shared the table and you have created the resource line, you can use the glue catalog now. So watch over here, especially this one right here. I configure the catalog value, the catalog implementation to ordered.apache.iceberg.aws.glue catalog, right? So I configure the glue catalog over here. Again, this is the consumer account. Okay. I repeat, this is a consumer account who's trying to read and write data into the producer S3 tables. Okay. So I've already done that. And then of course, as you can see, that's my shared glue database. That's the shared table. And then here you can see I'm counting the data from this particular table, right? As you can see, I'm selecting some data and then I'm doing some group by, right? So let me run this one over here. So here you can see now it did configure my Spark session, okay, with the glue catalog. And again, I'm doing it locally on my machine. And the way that I do this is I have AWS profile configured. If you observe over here, and I'm simply switching the profile, right? So if I put this to producer, it will be a producer profile, AWS credentials. If I put it a consumer, it will be consumer credentials, right? So let's see if this is complete. As you can see, I see 9 records. I do see the sample tables, the sample data in this particular table over here. And then I can see, of course, some aggregate over here, right? Now this is a producer account. Producer meaning where the Amazon S3 table buckets are. So if any consumers are in this particular AWS account, they can natively configure the Amazon S3 table buckets, right? So here you can see in the Spark session, over here, I configured the catalog implementation to be the S3 table catalog, right? So instead of glue catalog, I'm using the S3 table catalog. Okay, very important. So if you are in the consumer account and you're trying to access the S3 tables, you use the glue catalog, right? Because that's how we set it up, right? Via lake formation. But if you're in the producer account where the Amazon S3 table bucket is, you can simply use the S3 table bucket catalog. Okay. So let me restart my kernel and I want to show you this particular one. So here you can see my database daily sales. Again, this is what we have in the producer account. Let me actually see if I can show you. Here, Saumil Dev, daily sales, my database. This is where the Amazon S3 table buckets are, right? So if I go down, again, I just do a count query, and then again, I'm doing some updates here. I'm doing some selects again. So I'm doing some operations over here in this particular account. Let's try to run this and see if it works. So now my Spark session is being configured. So it's counting the records on my Amazon S3 table buckets at this point, as you can see. And here you can see the same 9 records. I made some updates to the prices, as you can see. We're gonna make some changes after preview, right? we made some updates over here, and then again we are seeing this particular data, right? So what is an important thing that you want to take from this particular video is this. Let me again share my screen. If you are in the consumer AWS account where you have already shared the table, right? I mean, when you have already shared the table and you have already created the resource link, right? You can use the native glue catalog. But if you are in this particular account, let's say your compute or engines are in this particular account and you want to query that, you can simply use the S3 table buckets catalog. Yeah, so I hope this video helps because I'm sure because this particular guide is not currently available, and I know this will help a lot of enterprise customers. So I hope this video will help you with your data mesh architecture. With that being said, I'll also try to do some videos on Trino part where I'll show you, okay, I have some Amazon S3 table buckets in the producer account that I have, and then I have my Trino over here, how I can access that. So I'd love to do all these videos and of course build this guide for you so that you can learn it more in a much more easy way. So with that being said, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. This particular code and the original blog post is there on my Medium. So if you get a chance, take a look at it, read it, and if you have any questions, let me know. Until then, keep smiling, keep programming, and I'll see you in the next video.